Hello everyone, welcome back to IELTS Decoded. This is Farhad Ahmed, a teacher of IELTS. If your target is band 7 or more than 7, this is your channel. Today in this video, I'm going to talk about IELTS speaking part 1. And in speaking part 1, I'm actually going to talk about the most common types of questions. So I have come up with few most common types of questions which usually come in IELTS speaking test. And if you go through them, you will have a better preparation, you will have a fluent and smooth start. And most importantly, you will be grammatically accurate. What I have seen in my teaching career, most of the students, they start the speaking part 1, what should I say, in a very random manner. They don't know what are they saying and they are not smooth, they are not fluent enough, and most importantly, they are not grammatically accurate. They don't know what they are answering actually. So if you know the types of questions before the exam, then you will be better in your final exam and you will answer them smartly, smoothly, and accurately. So let's move on and see what are the most common types of questions. The first type of question is a question that will start with do you. Yes, you heard it right. It will start with do you and then there will be a verb after that. I'll give you an example. The question says, do you cook? So you can see there is do you and there is cook. That's the verb. So this is the type of question which is one of the most common types of questions actually. Now, what is the importance of understanding this question? The first thing, by asking the question, the examiner wants to know from you that do you have the ability to speak in present tense? It can be present indefinite, it can be present continuous, perfect, perfect continuous, whatever it is. But he wants to know that do you have the ability to speak in present tense? Now, how do you answer that? So as you know now that what type of question it is a present question and it starts with do you and then there will be a verb. Now I will tell you how to answer it. So if you get this kind of questions, you will have to answer the question directly first in a positive way or in a negative way. So what you can do, you can answer it by saying yes I do or no I don't. This should be your first sentence while answering the question. Okay, and then what you have to do is you have to use an adverb so that it sounds smart. Your answer should sound smart, and if you add an adverb, it will be sounding more smart actually. It will sound smarter, I mean to say. So let's move on to another question and try to answer that. Do you wear traditional clothes? Yes, I do. I wear traditional clothes every day. Or you can say I wear traditional clothes regularly. So regularly, there is your adverb. Now, look, there is one criteria which says you can't repeat the structure of the question. So if you add an adverb, that means you are not repeating the structure, all right? But if you directly say that, yes, I cook or I wear, then you are repeating the structure of the question. But if you add an adverb very smartly, that means you are not repeating the structure of the question. So that's how you have to answer questions like this. Okay, let's try two other questions. Do you like taking pictures? Yes, I do. I like taking pictures regularly. Or you can say, yes, I do. I like taking pictures sometimes. All right, let's move on to the next question. It says, do you like eating out? You can say, yes, I do, or no, I don't. Then you can say, I like eating out regularly. Or I like eating outside very often. Okay, that's how you can answer. Let's move on to the next type of question. And this is a question which will try to get from you that do you have the ability to speak in past tense? If your examiner asks you this question, that means he is trying to see that do you have the ability to speak in past tense? And this question starts with did you? And like the previous type, it will have a verb in it. Okay, I'll give you an example. It says, did you take part in sports at school? So you see, there is did you and take part, that's your verb. So after did you, there will be a verb, and you will see whenever you hear this question, you straight away you have to make up your mind that this examiner wants to know that do you have the ability to speak in past tense. And if you know that, you will be answering it very smartly. And how do you answer it? Like the previous question, the first sentence should be very straightforward. You will be answering it in a positive way or in a negative way. Like I said in the previous type, yes I do or no I don't. But this one is in past tense. So what you have to say? Yes I did or no I did not. Okay, and what should be the second sentence? Like the previous type, we have to add an adverb so that it seems like we are not repeating the question structure. So what you have to do in this case, in case of this question, the question was, did you take part in sports at school? You can say, no, I didn't. I was not good at sports. Or you can say, yes, I did. I took part in sports regularly at school. So regularly, that's your adverb. Okay, so another question is, did you enjoy visiting that place? How do you answer it? Let's try with me. Yes I did. I enjoyed visiting that place regularly. Or you can say, I enjoyed visiting that place every day. Got it? So that's how you have to answer this question. And this is another type of question which is very common in speaking part 1. Okay, I want to say one more thing. We have tried 2 types, but today I'm gonna talk about 5 types of questions. And if you appear in your IELTS exam, you will get at least 2 to 3 types of questions from these types of questions. Okay, so the next type of question is actually something that will ask you about your preference. It will start with, do you like or do you prefer? And by asking that question, the examiner wants to know that, do you have the ability to talk about your own preference? So how do you answer it? I'll give you an example. The first question could be, do you like music? Straight away, as I said, if you answer it in positive way, you can say, yes, I do. If you want to answer it in a negative way, you can say, no, I don't. And then what you have to do? Like the previous types, we have to add an adverb. How do you do that? Do you like music? Yes, I do. I like music very much. Okay, and then you can say, yes, I do. I listen to music regularly. Okay, so there you go. You have to add an adverb so that your answer sounds smarter. Obviously, you can use some reasons behind that. You can use some examples, but if you try this structure, then your answer will sound smarter. You will be more accurate in case of grammar, and you will be a little bit fluent than before. Then there is another question. Do you like riding bicycle? You can say, yes, I do. I like riding bicycles regularly. Or you can say, I like riding occasionally. Okay. Then there is another question which says, do you prefer to eat out? You can say, yes, I do. I prefer to eat out regularly. Or you can say, yes, I do. I prefer to eat out occasionally. All right, that's how we have to answer. Now, moving on to the next type, and this type of questions will start with what kinds, what types, and what things. And by asking this question, the examiner wants to know that, do you have the ability to speak about different things? And how do you answer it? Your answer should start with one thing, because this question is trying to get from you that, do you have the ability to talk about various things, not a single thing. So you have to use one thing that is there are, and plus you can say many, various, a lot, and then rest. Like every other question, I have included the structure of the answer on the screen. You can see that there are plus many, various, a lot, plus the rest of the question. So I'll give you an example. What kind of music do you like? You can say there are many types of music I like. So this should be your first answer, or this should be your first sentence. What kind of music? There are various kinds of music. Got it? What kinds of games? There are various types of games. What kinds of dramas? There are various kinds of dramas. Or there are a lot of types of dramas I like. Got it? Okay. And I'll give you another question, which is what kinds of places do you like to visit? You can say there are various types of or various kinds of places I like to visit, and then obviously you can carry on to use your reasons and examples. But this is how you start this and the answer of this question, and you will be smooth, fluent, and grammatically accurate. Okay, and most importantly, you are getting to know one of the most common questions of speaking part 1, which is very important for you. Moving on to the next type, and this question is actually very common in speaking part 1, and by asking this question, the examiner wants to know that do you have the ability to speak about the popularity of something. I'll give you an example and you will know. The question will start like this: is it popular in your country? Or is this game popular in your country? Or is it very famous in your country? So the examiner wants to know that is the thing what he is talking about is very popular in your country, or is it famous in your country? And he wants to know that do you have the ability to talk about something's popularity. So you have to be very smart while answering it. And like every other question, I'll give you or I'll try to give you the suggestion how to answer it. So these questions, in this type of questions, you will have to start exactly like we answered the other questions, like do use or did use, those questions. So how do you answer this question? Your answer should be straightforward: yes it is, or no it isn't. That's how you have to start your first sentence. All right, and then exactly like the previous types, you have to add an adverb so that it seems like you are not repeating the structure of the question. How do you do that? Okay, I'll ask you the question: is it popular in your country? And your answer should be yes it is. It is hugely popular in our country. Then there is another question: is it famous in your country? You can say yes it is. It is hugely popular in our country, or it is hugely famous in your country. There is a question that says, is cricket popular in your country? You can say yes it is. Cricket is hugely popular in your country, and I know it is true. It is very popular in countries like India, Pakistan, or Bangladesh. Then exactly like this question, there would be another question which will start with "are," but it will try to answer to it will try to get the answer of the popularity of something, like are magicians popular in your country, or like are film stars popular in your country, or are sportsmen popular in your country. And you have to use exactly the same structure, like yes they are, magicians are very popular in our country. Or you can say yes they are, film stars are hugely popular in our country. Got it? So these are the two sentences with whom you have to start your answer for these types of questions. Got it? And after using this structure, you can obviously use your reasons and examples as I have been saying. But if you use this structure, you will be grammatically accurate, you will be smooth, you will be fluent, and more importantly, it will give you sort of a rhythm to your answer, so that you are on track, you are smooth, you are fluent. All right, so these are the 5 types of questions. Try to answer these questions, or try to practice these questions with me by watching this video and try to grab these questions as hard as you can, so that whenever you appear in your final exam, if your examiner asks you these types of questions, you can answer them like this. Okay, and one more information I want to share with you. I have my email ID in this video, and I'll provide you an WhatsApp number so that you can contact me. And if you need more questions like this, I can provide you with WhatsApp or email ID. Email would be better to contact me, so I prefer you contacting me by using the email ID, so that I can provide you some more questions. I'll provide you PDF file to practice these questions. All right, so I'll see you in the next video. Till then, try to practice these questions. Goodbye from IELTS Decoded. Thanks for watching the video.